stress, It's like, I feel like, we never used to think about all the time traveling, or like now it's like, okay, this is checklist, bucket list, this list, right?
Right.
Because that's also, I feel like it's also taxing for the body.
Well, I think another reason for the more travel is that there's so many events that happen overseas, right? Between weddings and anniversaries and birthdays and this and that. So those cause, you get invited and suddenly you have the FOMO. Oh, I've got to be there.
Hi, Poonam.
Hello, Sanj.
Hi. Nice to see you, as always.
Yes, always a pleasure.
Yeah, it's always a pleasure talking to you and getting all these great ideas that you have. It's been a while though. We tried to tried to find a time. So, anxiety. I don't know. It's just something that I'm not feeling it myself, but I feel like I can somehow feel the vibe of people when I kind of see people around. I've seen that I can sense more. I don't know why. Is it because it's growing, or is it like something that it's always been there, or do you think that it's actually growing?
I think anxiety is something that is triggered by everything that's happening around you. And if it's growing, it's because it's coming into your particular time of your life and your focus. I think that parents with younger children, all the way up to high school level, have an immense amount of anxiety because they want their children to get into good schools, colleges. They want them to be successful. They want them to have a good work ethic. And so I think they put an immense amount of pressure on them. And I think in general, I think what's happening is it's a multitude of things that are happening, right? So anxiety, what does anxiety stem from? Let's define it, right?
Yeah.
Anxiety is a feeling that you perhaps are overwhelmed and or that you just feel a general malaise. I have so much to do, and there's not enough hours in the day, right? So in that respect, perhaps anxiety is growing in a lot of society because there really is not enough hours in a day. And it's how you choose to handle those 24 hours. And do you take any time to maybe take a deep breath for yourself? Because if it's constant, if you think about it, for parenting, it's constant, right? That anxiety is always going to be there. You got to get your kids up, get them to school, get them picked up, get their homework done, get them to their activities, have dinner, homework, and bed. It's like a huge part of your life and your day, right? Half of your day is devoted to that. Then you still need 6 to 8 hours of sleep just to be able to decompress, and your body needs that so you can stay healthy. Because if you're not healthy, your whole household stops, right? Right. So then it's what do you do with the other 3 or 4 hours of the day? What do you want to do? And I think so. Anxiety is also part of our societal base. So what is happening, I've noticed more over the years. I remember, I'll just give my own example. Let's start with my mom. So in my mom's generation, we didn't really go out. They didn't really go out. They maybe once in a couple of months or something, there was a dinner party somewhere, but they would go out to that. Or if there was a family wedding or some family event, birthdays, that would be the main social interaction. Growing up, for me, so my parents would all try to be home as much as possible with me. And again, they didn't put me in so many activities. I did a few, but not to the level where I see today's children and kind of what I put my children through now that I think about it. My kids, I had them in all different types of sports and everything because I just wanted them to be well-rounded besides school. But if you think about it, that's a lot of anxiety and pressure, not only on us, but on our families around us. Poor children. Yes, it's hard for everyone, right? Then another thing that I've noticed is that it seems like, I don't know, it must be the society we live in or maybe the times that we live in where there seems to be social activities all the time. And if you think about it, if you're always out and about, and it's not with the children, okay? It's just with your friends or you're going somewhere. There's a lot of FOMO that people can't say, no, I don't want to come. Well, I'll drop by, even if it's not convenient. If you're thinking about it, if that's how you choose to spend those remaining hours, that's your choice, right?
Yeah.
But understand that that's also nonstop, and it's also triggering in your own self anxiety, because you need some time and in every day, and I believe this, that should be just for you. Whether it's an hour, half an hour, I don't know what it is, but everybody needs some time to just decompress and just relax. And if you're constantly going out, like it used to be, I remember growing up, it would be on a Saturday, maybe twice a month with my parents to somebody's house or something. And then I had children, so I'll be honest, for the first probably 12 to 14 years, we didn't really socialize that much because we wanted to be around for them, take them to their activities and all. And then we moved over here, or wherever you choose to be in a certain period of your life, and your kids go off to college. And then suddenly you're like, oh my gosh. So if you're socializing on not only just on a monthly basis, a weekly basis, but a weekday basis, then you kind of wonder what is happening to you.
Yeah.
Is it healthy for you, for your mental psyche? Is it healthy for your physical psyche? Because, think about it. Every time you go out and eat, you eat too much to excess. You drink too much. So those are just part of the parameters of, is it good for you?
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, who doesn't like to have company? Who doesn't like to enjoy talking and good conversation and all that?
Yeah.
In large gatherings, I don't see that happening. It's more like, hi, how are you? Oh, don't you look nice? Da-da-da-da, move on. I don't like that. And so I made a concerted effort in the last perhaps 3-4 years to just say, you know what, it's okay, thank you, I'm busy. I hate to say that. It's just, it gets to the point where you just don't want to anymore. And I think my husband and I are both on that same page. We do enjoy going out with smaller like gatherings, like a couple of people or something like that. We enjoy that, dinner outside occasionally.
So good conversations can happen.
Good conversations, right? Occasional, right?
Yeah.
We both have some, social clubs that we enjoy, like cards, and he enjoys golf. And I enjoy reading, so I have my book clubs. But that's sufficient. I have more time now because my kids are gone, right? They're professionals. They're almost finished with their, medical education. They're working and all. But I think back and I look at what's happening around me with all these new young up-and-comers who are like, in IT and super successful and working so hard and trying to juggle everything. I'm sure the anxiety levels are off the charts. Mine wasn't that bad. It's gotten a lot worse now that I look around me. People are very, very, very stressed. We have become a nation of people who are just constantly running around because I guess
it's like a rat race, right? Like, okay, it's like racing. There is no gap in between, and there has to be a gap, right?
There should be a gap for your health purposes, but I think when you're involved in this level of anxiety and rat race or this constant spinning wheel, how do you get off? How do you get off of it
without hurting yourself?
Right? How do you do it without spinning out of control? You have to do it. You can't leave your children alone. You have to kind of be there. I think maybe as a society and anxiety and mental health, perhaps we should be trying to raise our families with everything with balance, okay? So we don't need to, even for ourselves, we don't need to be out socially 4 days out of the 7.
Yeah.
That's not healthy, okay? For our children, they don't need to be involved in 3 different sports after school.
Yeah.
Whatever happened to just go to school, be picked up, and maybe do one activity, like one sport or something, or art or whatever, maybe a couple hours a week, that's it. The other days, the other times, pick them up, talk to them, help them with their homework, sit there, have some family time afterwards, play video. I remember video games that just like come into the forefront. And when they were growing up, so what we would do, we would have family game nights. So we had, we played Monopoly to death. I mean, that was a once a week thing with our children growing up, Monopoly, once a week after school in the evenings for 2 hours. That was the thing. Then video games came. And so we would play family video games, Spyro, the little dragon dinosaur who could fly.
Yeah.
And you had to do different levels. And so you had you had 4 people sitting on the couch, right? And all of us taking a turn. And then, that's okay, because that's, again, you're spending time
engaging family.
And not just engaging family, but it's a complete brainless thing for you to do. Right? So it gives you a chance to decompress also. But you're doing it in a wonderful environment that everybody's benefiting. So I think that's something we have forgotten. If you ask a lot of parents, when was the last time they actually played a board game with their kids? Today? I don't think they do.
Yeah.
I think that they're so busy with everything else, of taking them places and this and that and picnics and whatever, which is fine. You know, whatever it is, it just, we are on this really, I think we're on a spiral. We're on an out of control spiral. We've forgotten what was really important.
Yeah. I also feel like even like traveling has become like another rat race. It's like, I feel like, we never used to think about all the time traveling, or like now it's like, okay, this is checklist, bucket list, this list, right? Because that's also, I feel like it's also taxing for the body. It's not like, I mean, like once a year, good one travel, or maybe a cruise or something, one. But I've seen, like, even including ourselves, I've seen that there's more travel now than before ever.
Well, I think another reason for the more travel is that there's so many events that happen overseas, right? Between weddings and anniversaries and birthdays and this and that. So those cause, you get invited and suddenly you have the FOMO, oh, I've got to be there. But is it really healthy for you to be there?
And this also should be accounted for in the travel. So let's say if there's a plan for travel international or whatever, then you don't have to do the other vacation that you were thinking of, right? Because because then it gets, again, I think it's all, I feel, again, it's my opinion, but I feel like everything is becoming like, and in a way social media also contributes, because you see all these travel information and everything, and that in a way it's a good thing because you get information which is out there. But also, again, that different kind of travel FOMO is also created.
I think this FOMO in general is one of the bases, and a very strong base, of our anxiety in today's society.
Yeah.
It's really, it triggers us. I mean, everybody's on social media.
Yeah.
And everybody's seeing what everybody else is doing, and they had a party but they didn't invite me, or oh gosh, you know what, they went to here, I want to go there.
Yeah.
Which is fine. If you choose to, that's fine. Is it because you really want a vacation in that country?
Yeah.
Or is it just because you want to be there just to be there?
Just because somebody else
went, or somebody else is having a party and you want to go there. And again, I think Sanjana, it's all balance. And I think that we are out of balance. So if you were to say anxiety and how to handle it, like some people say, meditate, talk to people, take a deep breath, take time for yourself, go for a walk. Anxiety enfolds us and grabs us, and it holds us very tight. And the way that our society is currently, unless we make some serious changes, we make some decisions, I don't see it improving. I think it's on a upward trend line. So we have to take steps, and that's when you have to be able to say, you know what, I don't want to do that. Like when I wake up in the morning, I'm sometimes so exhausted, and I love reading. Okay, I'm into book clubs. I love to read. At night, sometimes when I fall into bed, I don't have the energy to read more than 3 or 4 pages. But I end up getting up early. And you know what? I take that 45 minutes for myself and I read. Before I even start my day. I'll sit in bed and I'll have my little Kindle in my hand and I read for 45 minutes. And that gives me immense pleasure.
So that's your decompress.
That's my decompress. In the evening, usually my decompress is to just hang out for a little while, watch some television, talk to my husband. If my kids are floating through, which they float through a lot, then whatever, you talk to them and you find out what's going on. But yeah, so I have 2 decompression levels. In the evening, I need to have some time to decompress. And then in the morning too, before I start my day, I want to have some time to just for myself. And then because then my day starts, just like everybody else's day starts, right? And so at that point, you have X, Y, Z to get done.
Yeah.
And you're going to be running around here or there, whatever it is. Whether you're a housewife and you're just basically at home and you got to make sure your household runs. Or if you're one of these women who are wearing multiple hats these days, who are like not only working from home or working outside and then managing their family and then making sure their household runs. There's just so many tiers.
Yeah.
Right? So you have to find the time to perhaps say, look, take a step back sometimes. Vacations are supposed to be enjoyable and fun, right? They shouldn't be that, oh, I just want to run around to 10 countries in 5 days. No. That's not a vacation. That's painful. Okay? Going out and meeting your friends, like for a dinner or something, should be fun. Positive energy. Positive energy. It's not that you have to go somewhere, there's like 40 people, and everybody's just so like, you know, they're not even talking, right? They're in corners. There's no talking. They're just like, hi, how are you, whatever. And they're in corners, and there's no quality time there. And then, again, you know, now I think another anxiety level is that a lot of husbands or wives travel for work. I was thinking about that the other day. It's really hard, right? Because now you're juggling a multitude of hats. You have your children. You have your jobs, right? You have your household. And also we have elderly parents. More and more of our parents are living with us. So that's another added anxiety or stress in your life. Responsibility to make sure their, you know, doctor's appointments are taken care of, and that they, you know.
And their social needs too.
Social needs too. So you have to go often places so that they have their friends too. So it's interesting. That mommy hat or that woman's hat just keeps adding and adding, right? Yeah, often men, when they just go to work, they don't think about everything else that has to be done in the day. Their wives will take care of it, right? But a woman, when she has to go on a business trip or has to go, like, even if I have to go somewhere for anything, right? I've got to make sure that my household, my mom has food made and everything, so that I never, like, you never get that break where you can just say, I'm just walking away for 3-4 days, and I don't have to worry about cooking, grocery shopping, or anything. Because something has to, there's always a level that has to be there. So I mean, it's a world full of anxiety. It's how you choose to deal with it. People exercise. There's a lot of people who take an hour out for themselves just to exercise every day to feel better. And I think that's a wonderful release mechanism. Meditation, exercise, go for a walk.
So de-stress, as you said, is important in your decompression.
You have
in whatever way it works for you. For example, you read, and that makes you relax. It could be different for different people, right? But you need to find that decompress activity for yourself,
and
so
the time
that you
to
can
do
manage.
it. And the time to do it, right?
You need to find that hour or 2 hours a day for yourself. Right?
Yes.
And that will help. And also the other thing I understood from you, Poonam, was that balance. You can be, it's whatever you're doing, there has to be a balance. Right? It's if
that scale isn't always balanced.
Yeah, it's and I see what you're saying. Like, good to travel or good to socialize or good to do whatever you're doing, but in that range, that there's this range, and then this is extra, is my own time, right? If you don't have that set up, then that's anxiety is going to go up, and then you won't know what to do, because now it's over about everything, right?
Yes, exactly.
Any last message, Poonam, about this, especially just for women? I know we're younger women, or women on all age groups.
No, this is it's an amazing time in our lives. Women are super, super successful. They're out there making their way. They do so many things. Their hats have really tripled, I think, since when I raised my kids.
Wider,
right? I think don't beat yourself up. Just do the best you can. Everything will be all right. I think A-type personalities, which I happen to be one, our perfection-based personalities are damaging. I think also hands-off, like everything will take care of itself. That doesn't work either. I think, like I said, it's a balance, and women especially. I mean, you're phenomenal. You're impressive. You're fabulous. So, but enjoy it too. Enjoy this time too, right? Because you may be going crazy getting your kids into everything. These days will never come again. Your children will not remember.
So, Poonam, any other closing comments you have for our women here?
I just think women of today do so many things. They're phenomenal. I think that they need to learn to not beat themselves up. Do the best you can. Find time for yourself, because if you don't take care of yourself, you can't take care of anybody around you. and just continue. I mean, believe in it and just get whatever it is that you need to on your daily basis. Right? Anxiety is always around. There's nothing you can do about that. But just think how far we've come and what we can do and how many hats we can juggle. And more power to this generation of women. Mm-hmm. I really admire them. I sometimes wonder how I did it. I think when you're doing it, mm-hmm. you just do it, right? But afterwards you reflect back and you're like, wow, I did all that. Mm-hmm. Now if you try to do it, you're like, I couldn't do that. I couldn't do that. And they're doing it. They're so wonderful. They're doing everything. But I think that's the only message I would give them is, I know there's so many stresses, anxiety, everything is around you. Find time a little bit for yourself mm-hmm. so that you can also have equality of this mm-hmm. experience. This time will never come again. Mm-hmm.
Mm. All right. Thanks for joining me, Poonam.
My pleasure. Thank you.
Thank you.
If you want to talk about anything at all, then you know who to call. Just tell Sanjana. Tell Sanjana. Tell Sanjana. Tell Sanjana. Just tell Sanjana.